Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're back for another trip around the Mach Loop. So far in the series we've had an American aircraft, we've had a couple of European aircraft, and I thought now would be a good time to test out an aircraft from the former Eastern Bloc. So in front of you we have the Soviet-built MiG-23 Flogger. As we like to do in this series, we're going to take the MiG-23 for a trip around the Mach Loop, see how she performs and see how she stacks up against the other aircraft that we've tested so far. Just before we get into the video, I would like to mention that it was really rather turbulent conditions out on the Mach Loop this morning, which did make for quite a tricky run. But as always, we'll try and get the absolute best out of the aircraft and try and set the fastest time that we can. Do hope you enjoyed the video guys. If you do, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. If you have any comments or questions for me, please leave them down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. We'll now head up into the skies in the MiG-23 and begin the video. So in front of us we have the Mihoyan Gurovich MiG-23, NATO codename Flogger. The aircraft is a variable geometry fighter aircraft designed by the MiG Fighter Bureau in the Soviet Union during the 1960s. The MiG-23 was a third-generation jet fighter aircraft, and rather interestingly it's also the world's most produced variable geometry aircraft. The MiG-23 was fitted with a number of notable technologies at the time. It was the first Soviet fighter to feature a look-down, shoot-down radar, and one of the first to be armed with beyond visual range missiles. The MiG-23's engine is particularly noteworthy. The Tamansky R29-300 could generate around 12,500 kg of thrust, allowing the aircraft to easily reach its top speed of Mach 2.4. The engine was so powerful in fact that the aircraft could easily go faster than its placarded top speed, but doing so would apparently cause the cockpit canopy to implode. Interestingly enough, this will feature quite heavily today in our run around the Mach Loop. It was quite clear to me throughout the run that the aircraft was easily capable of much higher top speeds than the placarded 1500 km an hour at sea level. But as always we'll try and operate within the aircraft's limits, and particularly today with the turbulent conditions, exceeding those limits would potentially have been quite hazardous. Anyway, with all that being said, let's now head into the cockpit of the MiG-23 and put her around the Mach Loop. So once again making our way in towards the town of Mach that's just off at our 1 o'clock now. Passing over the road, afterburner on, start the stopwatch and continue down the valley. Top speed in the MiG-23 is around 1500 km an hour, so we'll make sure that we manage the power to try our best not to bust that. It's very manual, the MiG-23, we really don't have much in the way of protections in the flight envelope. And as it's quite a bumpy day here as well on the Mach Loop, we need to make sure that we're not going too fast such that we could overstress the aircraft in the turbulence. So just coming up on 1450 kilometres there. Power's good, making our left turn around, following the river and the A470. Coming back off the power a little bit more to make sure we don't go too far through 1500s. Pointing ourselves at the hill initially for the turn through Dinas Malthui. There's the town now. Should be good on the speed, so we'll keep the power. Coming up on the power a little bit more to try and maintain 1500s. Overbanking the aircraft slightly to bring us closer back down to ground level. Back on full power initially just to keep the speed up during the turn. And coming off again, we're overspeeding a little bit there. Reversing turn through to the right. And reversing back to the left through Bulj. Coming back off the power to loosen speed through the Cross Fox's turn. Lining ourselves up for the turn into the next valley. And continuing to follow the road through the valley, reversing the turn back to the right towards Lindmingil. Back on the power momentarily. And coming off the power again, taking the speed brake for the turn through Chorus Corner. Okay, through Chorus, back off the speed brake, back on the afterburner, allowing the speed to build up again. Probably could have taken a touch more speed through Chorus there. Turning back to the right, continuing to follow the valley. Up through 1200 km an hour, there's Chorus just passing down on our right. Come back off the power again to make sure we don't exceed our 1500s. and continue to follow the valley back towards Mach Loop, which is just passing off the nose now. Over the road, off the afterburner, and stop the stopwatch. So overall, not a bad run in the MiG-23, with it being a very manual aircraft and really having to make sure we don't overstress the airframe. It does make the run a little bit trickier. There was definitely some room for improvements in a couple of the turns there, but I think given the current conditions we managed to extract a fairly decent amount of performance from the aircraft. So the MiG-23 managed a time of 2 minutes 18.21 seconds, putting it pretty much in the middle between the F-14D Tomcat and the Panavia Tornado GR1. Unfortunately, the environmental conditions weren't really in the favour of the MiG-23 today. I do think it would have been possible to get a significantly faster time in smooth conditions. And once again, in terms of its power plant, the MiG-23 is certainly capable of much higher speeds than we ran there. For the sake of interest, I did actually try out full power at ground level in the MiG-23, and we were easily able to get well over 2,000 km an hour. But as always in the series, we try and operate the aircraft within their design structural limits. And given today's conditions, a time of 2 minutes and 18 seconds was more or less the best time that I could extract from the aircraft. I do think that there were a couple of turns that we could have gone a little bit quicker, particularly coming through Chorus Corner, but with the Flogger being an extremely manual aircraft to fly and offering no flight envelope protections, overall I do think it was better to err on the side of caution. Anyway, once again, I really enjoyed the trip around the Mach Loop in the MiG-23 Flogger. I do hope that you enjoyed the video as well. If you did, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. If you have any comments or questions for me, please leave them down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. But for now, thank you very much and I'll see you all again soon.